Hi wrestling fans, thanks for clicking on the dreaded D-Rose report. Am I going nuts, or did I hear on Raw yesterday that Brie Bella is a man? And Hornswoggle got Kelly pregnant? Somebody had to put that little sucker up to it, I bet. And Khali was nuts over Eve Torres. Oh. By the way, I got some breaking news here that I'm going to unbreak. There was an arrest warrant been put out on Chris Jericho in Kentucky about the incident that happened a while back. I guess he supposedly missed a hearing, so they supposedly put a bench warrant out on him. Well, shortly after the news broke, courtesy of WCPO in Kentucky, that the warrant had been issued for Chris Jericho's arrest, the WWE superstar reportedly resolved the issue. So don't get excited. You could get excited, but then turn around, don't get excited now. It's all right. Anyway, the outlet said that a bench warrant was issued Tuesday for Chris Jericho. Supposedly it was a no-show at a court hearing related to the January public intoxication charge. But fellow WWE superstar Gregory Helms, who was arrested along with Jericho at the same time, had paid a $159 fine in a timely fashion. I wonder how they knew what he was wearing. And according to TMZ, Jericho called the court early Tuesday afternoon and agreed to pay the fine, so the warrant is no longer in effect. And an update on, in a Twitter update Tuesday afternoon, Jericho denies he encountered any issue with the court. I paid my fine on time, never had a court date, I'm free to walk the streets. Sorry, TMZ, wrong again. Who's this calling? I don't know who it is. Let them leave a message. By the way, WWE diva Mickie James has been working on her country music debut album called Strangers and Angels, which is set to be released on March 21st. Where's the answer machine here?
Hello.
Oh. Anyway, the first single off the album, Are You With Me, hits the airwaves today and is played on radio stations across the country for the first time. Mickie has posted a message on her Twitter account about her song and radio debut, asking fans to call the radio stations, request the song to be played, and request it again. Rob Van Dam appeared at the Right After Wrestling Sirius XM satellite radio show Monday night and gave an update on his wrestling future. He said, now that TNA Impact is moving to Monday night starting March 8th, we could see RVD back in the spotlight. RVD says, I feel fairly optimistic because I know TNA is trying real hard to make a good deal for me, and that's basically where we're at. In other words, money. Speculation is over, by the way, after all the questions on how WWE NXT is going to replace ECW starting next week, how it's going to operate. Well, the answer's finally been cleared up. Just for the record, and not going to be it's not going to be a science fiction show, which, whew, glad of that. Anyway, in the same vein, though, the show is like Ultimate Fighter, which I think is a mistake. WWE owns Tough Enough, a daily variety article confirming that the series will employ a reality premises following 8 rookie superstars from FCW as they work their way towards the spotlight on Raw or SmackDown. Sounds good. As long as they don't go into their house and we see what they eat and there's no wrestling on the show, well, it's... Anyway, 8 wrestlers will be paired with WWE veteran mentor, with egos often getting out in their way and learning the ropes of competition in the ring in front of a live audience, creating characters and speaking on camera, says the Variety story. So, as reported earlier, the show is going to be featuring the wrestlers from Florida Championship Wrestling and be paired off with other veterans. So here's the way, kind of the way that it's looking so far. 9 wrestlers who are expected to be a part of NXT. Season 1 debuts next Tuesday on... Tuesday night on Sci-Fi. It's going to be Justin Angel, which is the FCW champion, Daniel Bryan, which is formerly Bryan Danielson, Carvel, which was Low-Key, Skip Sheffield, Joe Hennig, son of Mr. Perfect, Brett DiBiase, son of Million Dollar Man, brother Ted DiBiase, Darren Young, Heath Slater, and Michael Tarver. I'll wait till next week to give my opinion on that. I know you guys will too, so we'll see. WWE's teasing a series as the series as a window into how the company truly operates, which I don't believe that the first second. They're not going to let you see how it really operates. Anyway, these kids crash and burn a lot. It says Vince McMahon. They crash and bell ends wrestling. By putting them in an environment, we'll find out how they can make it. There's no better way to develop skills and that of being in front of an audience. And that makes good television. The show is set to air weekly, year-round. Will be broken into two or three seasons, I guess, as per the earlier detail. It will also feature a new look, feel for WWE programming. By the way, F4WOnline.com newsletter had some interesting stuff. The first Money in the Bank qualifying match of WrestleMania is scheduled to begin, looks like next week's Raw. WWE Jason Robinson recently told Sky Magazine that the Elimination Chamber structure cost $250,000 to put together. And it takes 24 ring crews members to assemble it. 16 tons is stored in the New Jersey area and requires a special 500-foot flatbed truck to transport it. Well, then don't use it if it's too big then, if you don't like it. There's also at least a discussion within WWE this past week of possibly making the bragging rights pay-per-view 5-on-5 match a War Games match, similar to the way WCW did. Vince McMahon said being pretty excited about the new XTW show, partly because it's a new concept involving shooting style action, and if it turns into a hit, they're hoping to integrate it into Raw and SmackDown, and said that Vince wants divas to be heavily involved in the new show. What in the world's going on here? That's the wife. I better hold on. Let me say I got 7 minutes left. Well, anyway, I guess I made her day. I talked to my wife. Anyway, sources to WWE indicated after ECW ends tonight, Christian will end up on SmackDown. William Regal and Ezekiel Jackson to go to Raw, as will Zack Ryder and Rosa Mendez, while the team of Crawford Beretta will probably end up on SmackDown. And still anyone's guess on the future of Shelton Benjamin, Goldust, Yossi Tatsu, Vance Archer, Tiffany, and Savannah. They're all expected to stay on TV, though. Well, there's a lot of sex things going on lately. I noticed about Tiffany being in Playboy, and then we got Mickie James. I just got a video of her the other day that she had made us a whole scene out of an adult movie, and it was very explicit. And then we got the White down in the FCW, which I hope they keep her on. Good looking. So Ted DiBiase Jr. will be appearing at WWE Developmental Show on Friday, February 19th at Plant City Armory in Plant City, Florida. Never heard of that. Shelton was shown on camera at the Iowa versus University of Minnesota wrestling meet this past weekend. Undertaker's been pulled, by the way, from all advertising of upcoming WWE SmackDown tour of the UK. New main events are Edge taking on Batista, and Rey Mysterio taking on John Morrison, Rey Mysterio and John Morrison taking on CM Punk and Luke Gallows. Let's see, I got maybe about another minute yet left. Former WCW star Dave Taylor, remember him? He was hired this weekend as a new agent replacing Scott D'Amore. Former WCW Ming, remember him? He had a lot of names. He was backstage at Sunday's TNA Against All Odds pay-per-view. Last I heard of him, he was running the car lot down in Florida, a car salesman. I gotta go. Thanks for clicking.